Good morning. Thanks for joining me today for this edition of Status Hearing. Today is going to be a very general, total body opener. So we'll start on our backs as we usually do, bending the knees, feeling into the feet. Rotate your feet to the outsides, so toward your pinky toes, and then rotate toward the insides. Outsides and insides. And this may be a little difficult in this position because if you have tight ankles, you don't have a lot of weight on your ankles. If you have a lot of weight, it's a little easier when you're standing, for example, to do this. So you don't have a lot of weight now. Let's play around with loosening up your ankles and then lift your toes and your heels. So loosening up the fronts and backs of the ankles, fronts and backs of the lower legs. And now moving your feet, rolling toward your big toe and rolling toward your little toe. Loosening up to the sides of your ankles. I did a lot of walking this weekend and I'm feeling really stiff in the ankles. And so now let's lift the toes. Lift all 10 toes. And then push all 10 toes into the floor. So lift all 10 toes, push them into the floor. Just do a couple repetitions like that. And notice if you're having difficulty, which toes are more mobile and which are less mobile. You'll probably find that the big toe is more mobile simply because it's bigger. And then let's relax the feet and just begin with our breathing. Inhaling into the belly, feeling the belly rise. Exhaling, allowing the belly to fall. And noticing 360 degrees of movement. So movement in the sides, movement in the belly, in both sides of the belly, and movement in both sides of the lower back. And I find that opening up the arms a little bit allows you to move the breath into the chest. Remember that all of this can be done lying in bed. You don't have to get out of bed to do this. And so if lying on the floor is difficult for you, take this into a bed. It's comfortable and it's still useful. The idea here is to start to move. And now what I'm going to do is just begin to gently roll side to side with my head. And as I roll side to side with my head, I'm allowing the arms to just move however they naturally will. What I'm finding is that I rotate my head to the left and my right hand over here wants to begin to rotate down. My thumb wants to begin to rotate, well, up toward the ceiling. And then I rotate right. And then opposite thumb wants to move a little bit, this left thumb. And I rotate again. Now, if I'm not mindful and I continue to do this, I rotate left and my right shoulder pops up. I rotate right and my left shoulder pops up, which is okay. But now I want to deepen that stretch a little bit. So I'm going to rotate left. I'm going to keep the hands open. I'm going to gently press the back of my right arm, the whole back of my right arm. So the back of my hand, forearm. I'm going to kind of rotate my shoulder blade down. So rotating down, but doing it with this right arm. Rotating down. Oh, heck, I do it with both arms. It's certainly not going to hurt anything. And I'm going to pin this right arm down to the floor, Pin both shoulder blades into the floor. Pin the lower back into the floor. And gently rotate my head over to the left. Now, I'm going to be very gentle with this, but I'm also going to be very gentle to hold an origin, hold a base of the stretch, just like the rubber band I talk about all the time. That right arm is pressing into the floor, the shoulder blade on both arms, on both sides, is pressing into the floor, and I'm rotating over to the left. So as I inhale, I gently stretch. As I exhale, I go and fix my back and my arms back into the floor. Inhale, gently stretch. Exhale. So I'm not tightening the neck. I'm firming up through the arms and shoulders and relaxing through the right side of the neck. So inhale, open up. Exhale, firm up through the right shoulders and gently twist. As we continue to do this now, turn your attention to your chest. The very center of your chest. Imagine a line running down either side of the very center of your chest. And it's just going to run down to the pubic bones, which are those front bones of the pelvis. They're very low, but they are bones in the pelvis. So I'm running lines down my chest, and that is helping me to press the top of my body toward the floor as I exhale. So I'm going to inhale, relax. Exhale, open my shoulders. As I pin the arms down, pin the shoulders out, rotate the head. Inhale, exhale. One more nice deep breath in. And as we exhale, we'll start by relaxing the arms. And then gently rotate the head back to center. So let's continue to breathe. Inhale, arch your back just gently. Exhale, press with your feet and allow yourself to round your back. Inhale, exhale. And then from here, let's exhale again. Feel the lower back pressing toward the floor. Feel the arms nice and wide. Gently rotate the head side to side. So I started this time at the right, rotating to the right and the left. And again, just noticing that if I don't anchor my neck, I can really yank that thing out of alignment pretty quickly. So come back to center. Press the backs of both arms. But let's start with the left arm. Press the back of the left arm into the floor. Tuck both shoulder blades into the back and gently rotate the head to the opposite side. And it's really key here that you keep the shoulder blades away from the ears. That you feel the stretch on the left side of the neck. You're contracting slightly on the right side of the neck. Feeling the stretch on the left side, contracting slightly on the right side. Remember those agonists and antagonists. If one contracts, it will stretch the other. So we'll be mindful about that and deliberately contract one side and relax the other. And then last but not least, let's move into the chest so that we're thinking about dropping the chest toward the floor. You're pressing the chest toward the back of your body. When we inhale, we'll relax slightly. When we exhale, press. Tuck the shoulder blades, extend the arms, feel that lovely stretch in the left side of the neck. Feel that contraction in the right side of the neck. One more inhalation. And as we exhale, again, relax your arms first. Relax everything first. Everything. And then gently rotate your head back. From here, bend your right knee, cross your right ankle behind your left heel. Now, right here, you may be able to feel a stretch in the front of your thigh, in your quadricep. So you could stop right here if you wanted to. Alternatively, I can reach my left arm down and try to find that right foot and reach for the right foot. Now, if I can't reach that, again, I don't have to. I can just, as a matter of fact, I'm going to do this without holding on right now. So as I'm bending the knee, I'm walking my right ankle behind my left heel. And I'm just walking it far enough back so that I feel a stretch in the front of my leg. Now, I don't have to hold on. I can exhale again. Use your breath for this. As you exhale, pull the navel down toward the spine, lengthen out through that right knee, and feel that stretch in the quadricep. The more firmly you anchor that right foot on the floor, anchor it, and then exhale, press the lower back down. You're going to feel a deeper stretch in the front of the thigh. And really, it depends on you. I could open my legs up. If you feel the stretch right here, stay right there. You don't have to look like the picture. You won't look like the picture because the picture is going to be somebody other than you, right? So the picture, I talk about just the picture on your screen, the picture in a book, whatever you're, using as your example. So go into your body and feel this. All we're concerned with is a gentle stretch in the front of the thigh and maybe a little bit of a stretch around the knee, but it's gentle. And once you feel that stretch, we're going to breathe into it. Breathe into the thigh. As you exhale, tuck your lower back, tuck the outside of that right foot, and feel that lengthening through the right thigh and the knee. So inhale, relax, exhale. That's when we're going to ground the foot, ground the hip. Feel the stretch in the thigh. And again now, rest the hands on the hips, tuck the hips under, and now use your hands as if you're trying to pull your hips away from your shoulders. And then you're pulling that knee away from your hips. So inhale, relax slightly. Exhale, use the hands to push the hips away from the shoulders. Use the strength in the lower leg to pull that thigh away from the hips. So inhale, relax. Lengthen the torso and lower back. Lengthen through the thigh. One more time. Inhale, lengthen, lengthen. And relax. Now from here, just gently drop your knees side to side, very gently. We're working through the lower back. So we don't have to do very much. Most of us have a pretty tight lower back. If this begins to feel like it's awakening, now you can drop a little bit lower. And if that feels pretty good, you can use your arms And just rotate your body side to side. So I'm just holding on to one wrist and rotating side to side. And coming back to center. So we'll change legs here. I'm going to bend the left knee, place it behind the right heel. And I've got a lot of options here. If all I do is press my right foot away from my body, press it toward my heel, but use the friction on the floor, I can feel a nice stretch in the front of my thigh. So I don't have to hold on to my foot if it's not an option. Another option, if you want to do that, is to get a strap or a towel and just wrap it around the ends of the foot. I tend to not like all the other little gadgets because it's just more for me to forget. So I tend not to use a lot of the gadgets. They're wonderful to use if you have some place to put them nearby and you want to use them. There's certainly no harm in doing so. As we inhale, we're filling the belly. As we exhale, we're just tucking the navel toward the spine. And again, if you have a strap or towel and you want to wrap it around your foot, it is useful. You don't have to. If you create your own resistance, and I'm creating my own resistance by pushing my left foot, the top of my left foot, against an imaginary strap, I can feel the stretch in my left thigh. So I inhale. As I exhale, push with my left foot and feel that stretch in my left thigh. And now you can bring your hands to your waist and exhale, tuck your navel, pull the hips away from the shoulders, and then pull the knee away from the hips. Exhale, tuck the hips, pull them away from the shoulders, pull the knee away from the hips. And then from there, you can gently relax. Bring your knees back to center. And let's just hold a static stretch here. Bend the knees. Reach your left hand. Reach your right hand around your left wrist. Right hand around your left wrist. As you exhale, pull the wrist away from the arm. Resist with that opposite arm. And can you feel that into your back, into your latissimus dorsi, which are those muscles under your underarm? If I relax my shoulders and tuck my head and tuck my lower back and tuck my shoulder blades, so that back is as flat as it can possibly be on the floor. As I exhale, I'm going to pull with those latissimus dorsi muscles. Pull the elbows away from each other, pull the wrists away from each other. So I inhale, relax slightly, exhale, pull, and send the energy down that front internal line of energy, down the file. So each time we inhale, we relax. As we exhale, we pull. And this should feel pretty good in your back. Let's do one more of those. And from there, we'll relax, release the arms, bring them up above the head, and we're going to switch hands now. Now we're going to change the palms so the palms are facing the body. My left hand is reaching for my right wrist. Same idea here. I'm going to inhale, relax, exhale, now pull the elbows away from each other. And really key here is keeping the back flat against the floor. So you're going to feel yourself wanting to lift through those muscles above the shoulder blades, those trapezius muscles. And you really need to resist that. So inhale, fill, exhale, pull them apart. And really focus on these shoulders. These shoulders are pulling down. So inhaling, relaxing slightly, exhaling, really pulling and feeling that delicious stretch in the back and in the chest. One more deep breath in. Exhale out. And relax. Rotate on over. From there, I want to go into one more exercise here that I love to do that I just don't do very often. So I always run out of time. And that is just this little hip hinge. So what I'm doing here is lying on my back. As I exhale, I'm rotating my right hip away from my right shoulder. As I rotate my left hip toward my right shoulder. So I'm kind of almost swinging my hips side to side. I'm going to very gently rotate that right hip away from the shoulder as I rotate the left hip toward the shoulder. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, rotate the opposite direction. Right hip is coming up to the right shoulder, left hip rotating away. So just kind of moving very gently. As I inhale, I come back to center. As I exhale, I rotate side. If you feel this at all in your lower back, it is probably because you have forgotten to secure your lower back to the floor. So if you do feel that, secure your back, ground your back into the floor again, start over. So ground the lower back into the floor, and let's rotate one hip up toward the shoulder and one hip away from the shoulder. Inhale, center, exhale. Inhale, center, exhale. Inhale, center, exhale. Now, as you continue, can you ground more and more of your core is the floor? Inhale, center, exhale. And if you want to speed this up a little bit, speed it up. I find that this is good for me to loosen up my calves, believe it or not. I have to keep my feet anchored onto the floor and I keep my hips anchored onto the floor. But as one hip pulls away from the foot, I feel a stretch in my calf. That is how tight my calves are. And when you finish your last repetition, come back to center. We're going to take one knee at a time toward the chest, and we're just going to do the same thing. If you need to, rest your hands on your knees. As you exhale, bring that right hip toward the right shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, left hip toward the left shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, rotate. So hopefully you're feeling this is pretty challenging to the waist, especially if your hands are resting on your knees. If you want to speed it up a little bit, feel free to do that. And then finish out, make sure you're even here. And from here, we'll just come down onto the floor for final Shavasana or corpse pose. Oh boy, I need a long stretch. Excuse me for just a moment. Mm. Mm. And come down for final Shavasana. So just let your body relax. See if you can feel into your body. Where do you feel any sensation? And maybe you feel this in your ankles. We started in the beginning with a lot of ankle work. And then we moved into some back work and shoulders. And then we finished out with hip work. And if you haven't noticed, I'm very partial to hip and shoulder openers because I feel like that's sort of the genesis of a lot of problems. They kind of start there with tight hip and shoulders, and we just never do anything. And then the tightness just progresses. So now, feel into your body. Do you feel any sensations in your feet or your ankles? Do you feel any sensations in the upper back or the backs of the neck and shoulders in those trapezius muscles? Trapezii. Relax the palms of your hands. Relax your thumbs and your index fingers. Make a direct connection with your mind and your middle finger. Just making a mental connection, feeling sensations. Feel the sensations in your ring finger. Feel sensations in your pinky finger. Can you connect, send an impulse to your right pinky toe? You may not be able to do that. If you can't, it's a matter of practice. It will come back. How about your left pinky toe? Or both big toes? That will be probably a little easier. Now use both big toes as markers and move over one toe into your second toe. And I mentioned that use of markers because, again, as we lose touch, there's a pathway of nerve cells that run from your brain to that toe. But as you lose touch, they don't conduct an impulse as strongly, so you can't always feel it. If we start running impulses down that pathway, we will strengthen that line of nerve cells. It will conduct impulses again, provided it's not been permanently destroyed. So now can you move into your third toe? The middle toe. That one is really tricky. A couple of thoughts. You might press your second toe against your big toe. And see if you can press your third toe against your second toe, against your big toe. That may help you feel a little sensation there. Now you might be thinking, this is a toe, who cares? There's a lot of power that you're losing in your walk, in your stance, in your daily activities if this toe is just dead weight, because it's supposed to support your body. So you have lost 20% of your support on each foot. So it's not a huge deal. You may not feel it right now. But if you're feeling pain in your lower back when you walk a lot or stand, strength in the feet is going to help that. And your feet are not as strong as they can be if you can't use your entire foot. And now, maybe moving to the fourth toe. Again, if you're having trouble feeling the fourth toe, I'd suggest going all the way up to the pinky toe. See if you can wiggle that pinky toe, and then see if you can move your fourth toe out toward your pinky toe. It's still, for me, it's very nebulous. I think I have it, but I'm not sure. But I keep playing with it because it'll come. And then going back to just feeling inside the body, the quadriceps, the lower back. If we're ever doing these things and you feel a cramp coming on, I recommend that you go back to your diaphragmatic breathing. That cramp is an involuntary contraction. When we were moving our neck side to side, I was having you contract one side and relax the other. And you were voluntarily controlling that. When a muscle begins to cramp, it begins to contract involuntarily. Breathe into that area. Feel the area expand, just like your belly expands with an inhalation. And as a reminder, again, this is a great illustration of how everything is needed. We need all of those toes. We need all those muscles in the body. We need that muscle that's starting to cramp up on us, that's given up. It's tired. It's been contracting. It's not used to contracting and it can't stop now. But we need it. And we've got to attend to it timely, with intention, just like we attend to the toes and the back and the hips. And just a little bit every day will make such a difference. We come back from Shavasana in whatever way feels comfortable. Give yourself a good stretch. Whenever you're ready, roll to one side. Feel that blood just kind of fall to the side, and then bring yourself to an upright position. Thanks for joining me today. I hope this was useful for you. I am going to be moving into something a little more active tomorrow, and maybe varying these a little bit more than I have in the past. So, hope it was useful. If you have any questions, feel free to um, leave a comment for me. Otherwise, have a wonderful Monday. Namaste.